If you were to ask anyone the question, what was the most remarkable and influential era of the internet, it's fair to say you would get mixed responses.
Maybe we can jump.
And I'd be willing to bet that of those responses listed, they'd probably have some great reasoning to back it up. Some people might say that social media like Facebook or Instagram has had the most impact on the internet. Some might say that the creation of YouTube, the platform that you're watching this video on right now,
I got some jelly beans.
Hell, I'd bet some might even say that 2016 YouTube and meme cultures had the most lasting consequences for the current generation as a whole, not even just being confined to the internet. But no, fuck you, it's Newgrounds. The answer's Newgrounds.
What the fuck?
Though it usually goes without saying, the infancy of the internet and social media was a much different landscape than it is today. While the web is a platform that's always evolving, I think there are certain key events that can be used to characterize an era. If there was any website that could summarize the internet from the year 2000 onwards, it would be Newgrounds. To those who are unaware, which unfortunately is starting to become a larger and larger group of people, Newgrounds is a website that acts as a hub for user-submitted content. Everything ranging from animation to independent artists and musicians, all the way to what many remember it as, a platform for flash games. All of these works are created and developed for free, at no cost to the person consuming them. It's a platform that's based entirely off of passion. The Passion Project is one of the most honorable things a visionary can do, and one of the most interesting things that an outsider can observe. In a world that's so consumed with making profit wherever possible, certain creators have the time, energy, and willpower it takes to throw oneself into a project that has an equal chance of success that it does failure. The dedication is just obvious from the get-go when you're willing to throw away everything just to see your dream realized. The failure to complete a project of this nature can at best be disappointing, and at worst, be emotionally and financially crippling. Though with great risk comes great reward. While it's entirely possible to lose everything and fade into obscurity, all it takes is for you to succeed one time to secure your spot in the minds of many, forever. When there's a success story, that project often becomes so successful that people forget its humble beginnings. Take Five Nights at Freddy's for example. If this game wasn't played by the likes of Markiplier, PewDiePie, and Comedy Shorts, this game would have never become the multi-million-dollar series that spans 9 entries at the time of release. There'd be no crazy stories or theories, no funny short man screaming.
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through.
And of course, tragically, no animatronic vor art.
Sorry you had to see that.
And you want to know why this would have never happened? Because I remember being in 5th grade at the time of FNAF's debut, and literally everybody who played it before the YouTuber hype train just thought it was shit. It was scary, sure, especially at that age. But even when we were so young, it was pretty clear to tell that this was a random gimmick game that would just die out in a heartbeat, a flash in the pan, if you will. This game, essentially at the time, sort of felt like the Flappy Bird of horror. This game was gonna touch down like a hurricane, hit you real quick with a rotating PNG jump scare, and then boom, it'll die out just like that.
But it didn't die out.
It became one of the most monstrous indie-developed series of the 2010s, beating out some AAA titles and making its way onto consoles such as the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Lengthy dialogue aside, how does this relate to Newgrounds? I believe that most, if not all, passion projects can succeed in varying degrees, depending on when and where they're shown off. I've seen numerous YouTubers and other content creators that should fail due to a variety of reasons, but have had massive success seemingly out of blind luck. I may be a little inexperienced to be talking about this, but it can't be chalked up entirely to chance. In every giant YouTuber, you don't see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into every video. There's the promotion, there's the sharing, there's the editing, the meticulous jokes and script writing, the studying of trends and what type of content is currently in season to produce. It's kind of sad to say, but it feels like for a lot of YouTube, it's sort of become based on meta tactics, not actual passion. Every platform, regardless of other factors, has been driven by the desire to become famous, but only certain platforms such as YouTube can have the drive to become rich be implanted in the brains of many as well. If you ever question why clip channels exist, you know, the channels that just upload clips from streamers or games or stuff like that, is because they want to farm revenue off of another source like a leech.
6 consoles, 10 computers, bunch of fucking wires.
This is where Newgrounds steps in and flops his wiener on the table. Users of all skill levels can submit whatever they want, rules and standard guidelines be damned. The caveat being that there's no financial incentive in mind. I've seen some of the greatest flash animations in games on here that shaped my childhood, as well as seeing fetish anime porn on here that shaped my childhood, for better or for worse. Newgrounds has and continues to offer up a platform for those who are passionate and to enrich their talents further. Have the chances of a Newgrounds-based success story get a little thinner as time has gone on? Yeah, but it's been there at the right place and at the right time for long enough to foster thousands of communities that have grown and matured like fine wine. And who knows, even in its old age, there's still some shockers from time to time. This platform is the original stomping ground that many of the most famous creators hail from, or have at least been influenced by. It's not out of the realm of plausibility that this single website has influenced some of your most favorite creations that you likely take for granted. Guys like Ego Raptor, Video Game Donkey, Senior Pillow, games like Castle Crashers, the Henry Stickman Collection, and Friday Night Funkin', which not only originated on Newgrounds less than a year ago, but also has a cast that's half made up of original Newgrounds characters itself. It's shocking for me to just sit and think about all the free and communal content that Newgrounds has to offer, all the things that we would miss out on if it simply never existed. The dedication that artists on this platform have, even when there's objectively better places to be where they could honestly just get paid for their work, it's all just unreal to me. The passion projects that are laid out bare for all to see completely goes against my ideas that everything in this world is slowly being corrupted by greed and scummy business practices. Just like how the production of 90s anime and cartoons was mostly to sell merchandise, the AAA scene for video games seems to be about creating a title just to have a backdrop to sell microtransactions. It's hard not to get pessimistic about these things. I was a kid when I played these games. The magic always seems to fade away as you grow older. But with sites like Newgrounds, I'm reminded that there's still a lot of hope for people who are passionate or dreamers. Now again, does this also apply to the people on Newgrounds who make really bad porn games?
What the dog do?
Yeah.
I can't lie, they're very thorough.
But in all seriousness, it's strange to think that even below the level of indie developer, there exist developers for platforms where no financial compensation is even in the question. Like, for fuck's sake, man, most of the games that are uploaded now have controller support. Just put it on Steam. But alas, I am only an alpha male. If I had the brain of a sigma male, perhaps I could understand the complexities of the Newgrounds developer. As powerful as a platform like Newgrounds is, we can't forget that Newgrounds itself was once subject to humble beginnings as well.
Jamie Gold spent $2,800 buying into the sales pitch that computers are now easy to use.
This is the world's easiest personal computer.
It makes you powerful.
I don't know which the interface cable is. What the hell is a power module?
Many callers expressed dismay that cyberspace seems more like the Twilight Zone.
The year was 1991. The Hubble telescope was launched, the USSR finally came to a formal end, and Tom Fulp had launched a fanzine for the console Neo Geo under the name Newground, being a play on words for the roots Neo and Geo. He sent these to about 100 members of a club which originated from an online service called Prodigy. Looking back on these now, I really couldn't help but crack a genuine smile. This little kid made his own magazine, complete with original artwork, guides, game reviews, strategies, and news. Not only having the effort to create these, but also to mail them to about 100 people across the country. Kinda reminds me how I just sat on my ass playing Overwatch when I was 13.
The wolf hunts its prey!
In 1995, he launched the official website Newground Remix, which started to gain heaps of popularity after the release of games such as Club Seal and Assassin, which were also created by Fulp. And I mean, these games are so old and obscure that I couldn't find nor play anything of them. The only information I could get actual gameplay of was for Club Seal, where, yeah, that's definitely, clubbing a seal. Despite how tame and, quite honestly, fucking stupid this game was, The 90s were a different time. Fulp got genuine hate mail for this game saying he was a sick bastard, a sad perverted sicko, and a very sick young man. And sick he was, because he turned it on its head and made the statement, "Seal clubbing is wrong, and anyone who participates in this activity, Canadians, should be shot." Obviously, Fulp was a guy that was pretty keen on humor and pushing the limits, albeit in a very edgy late 90s yuck sort of way. All of this was about to change though. On the year 1999, Fulp's one-man joke website, that was literally in his own words a dumping ground for smaller projects, would become something that nobody had expected. Come with me, my brothers. It's time you learn about the portal.
Tangle here, so 2 at the base, and 1 at the side there. Just want to do 1, whoopsies.
On 1999, Fulp had created the first portal, which would prove to be the most consequential troll decision of his entire career. That begs the question, what is the portal? But I think the more apt question is, what isn't the portal? In all seriousness, the Flash portal was created as a black hole for Flash content. It started with a submission that's unsurprising to anyone if you're starting to get a feel for Fulp's character, one small penis program. After this, aspiring Flash animators started flocking to the site in droves, one of the first being Hate by user Big and Clever on April 8th, 2000. Tom Fulp was actually so enamored with this short film that he had emailed Big and Clever himself to ask if he could host it on his website, which of course Clever had obliged. I will now play said movie in its entirety. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. Aidan, that was definitively the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Many more of these breathtaking animations would continue to be posted in Newgrounds, redefining what it means to be 3 out of 5 stars. Okay, so out of all the earliest games that were posted in Newgrounds back on the year 2000, and the creation of the Flash portal, I decided to pick out this one. Let's see if it holds up. Okay.
Dude, man, what the hell's going on? May I have your tickets, please? Stop your Let out!
Lay ouch.
Welcome the bird! Peace, man!
He's such a deadhead, nothing would happen. Got him.
This is a little dated.
Just face it, lady, you're gonna die. What the? God damn it, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
After successfully going postal in that game, I was rewarded with an MP3 file of the royalty-free Linkin Park soundtrack, played through one of those noise pipes at the local playground. So, yeah. Honestly, these were pretty fucking terrible. But by 2000 standards, you have to understand, this was like Demon Slayer type shit. The site was niche, had shitty animation, shitty games, and shitty art. But it kept getting better. And it kept getting better. And it kept getting better, and it kept getting better, all the way until almost fully fledged games were being released in their own storylines and combo systems. Animations that pushed the boundaries on what a single fan could do at the time with such limited resources. Art and music that could easily just be put on Twitter or Spotify and they would go big as underground creators. The medium was stretched and stretched and stretched. The limits were pushed time and time again, even to the point where Flash as a whole was beginning to die out in both the figurative and literal sense of the term. It's no surprise to most people on the internet that the era of Flash has come to an end. Even before its death, there was a cultural death of sorts, as most had moved away from the tool in search of more useful mediums. When my father was my age, TV was king and nothing could ever hope to top that. Flash forward about 25 years and look how far it's fallen. Even some of the biggest faces of modern television have almost abandoned ship to reside in the YouTube trending tab.
They're so influential, they're the reason I got this haircut.
When YouTube eventually becomes too corporate and, dare I say, cringe, there's probably going to be something that replaces even that. It's natural that every good thing must come to an end, lest it becomes overgrown and stale. Death is a natural part of the cycle, and the Flash portal we all know and love is ultimately not exempt from this rule. Or is it?
Bitch, I'm back out my coma.
I woke up in a cold sweat a couple months ago, randomly remembering Flash was gonna die out soon. I rushed to Google and looked up, when is Adobe killing Flash? Only to find out I was too late. 6 months too late to be exact. I was crushed, man. My whole childhood was literally just snuffed out right in front of me. With tears in my eyes and piss in my trousers, I went to Newgrounds.com. One last visit. Sadness filled my being as I feared everything would be gone. And then it was completely fine. Like, literally everything was completely fine. Almost every single game, even the super old ones that I'm almost sure everyone has forgotten about, are still completely playable. The animations are untouched too. While I was completely oblivious, the Newgrounds community banded together to preserve each and every Flash-based title under the new software Flashpoint, effectively making it so nothing worthy of note had been lost in the reckoning. By their own account, Flashpoint has saved over 90,000 games and 10,000 animations running on 33 different platforms. To quote Flashpoint's website, Flashpoint was started in January 2018 by Blue Maxima in an attempt to outrun the disappearance of content prior to the death of Flash. It has since evolved into an international project involving over 100 community contributors, encompassing both web games and animations created for numerous internet plugins, frameworks, and standards. This project is and will always be entirely non-profit, to preserve the sense of community and sharing that came with Flash and its ilk. I think that this, more than anything, proves the point I've been trying to make. Passion guides people to work, no matter how insignificant that work may seem to an outside group. These people will go without fame, without money, without power, yet pour years of their life into a grueling process because more than anything else, they have vision. And what a truly fitting end to this story. Like, they literally power of friendship fucking spirit bomb that bitch away. Newgrounds was born when a community of losers on the internet wanted to have a little bit of fun. Who would have thought that it would end up being saved by that same community? A community that wanted to have fun for just a little longer. Got me crying in the club right now, man. Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, I want to say thank you. This is probably about the most ambitious project I've ever gone on so far. And if you made it here, you're fucking awesome, dude. I've been having a lot of fun doing YouTube for this past couple of months. Overall, I think we're doing pretty good. And we've hit 90 subs already. That is just insane to me. And yeah, I know that sounds very insignificant, but it really does mean a lot. I'm gonna keep making videos, I'm gonna keep trying to advance my content, and hopefully you guys will be with me for the ride. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'm going back to my cardboard box for 6 months. I'll see you later. I'm fucking Vagrant-FM, baby. Peace. Fuck you. Go play Tomba 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. Tell Video Game Donkey to stop copying my voice.
Yeah.